What's up, guys? Welcome back. I'm going to be giving away 6 B2 Audio CDR horns. But you're gonna have to wait till the end of the video to find out how to enter this giveaway. We got a new character here in the videos. We got Javer, who brought over his multimeter because my multimeter is just a cheap one. And what are we gonna use this for?
Well, you wanted to check out some impedance.
Last video we talked about getting the woofers in there and checking what the final impedance is. And so Javer,
I was being stupid. Well, that ain't right.
hopefully, let's see. We'll get out the cheap one.
I haven't used it in a while.
Maybe we have a blown sub
Already?
Okay, so we don't have a blown sub because this one's showing 0.3, 0.4. The Fluke multimeter that's supposed to be better.
Because it's bouncing down to 0.4.
There you go.
Probably need to put new leads on it. I've had this thing for over a decade.
Let's do this one. Have you seen the Razor yet?
I have not.
Speakers right there.
Well, you're gonna break these.
Nah. All right, guys, that multimeter was a fail. No part on Javer's part. Multimeter's just acting up. But as you've seen, these subwoofers are sitting about 0.3 to 0.4, bouncing around. And that's exactly where they should be. They should be about 0.35 because they are dual 1.4s. Paralleled down per subwoofer would make it 0.7. Paralleled down with another subwoofer, which would make it 0.35. I did go ahead and do a impedance chart playing the sound system with test tones. So starting at like 20 hertz and going all the way up to 50, 55 hertz, and then marking down on a piece of paper, or in this case on my notes on the iPhone, what the ohm load is at the frequency. So let me pull my phone out here, pull out the notes, and it's actually still open. So I don't know if you can see. See that right there? So all the way down to 20 hertz, the impedance rise. And as you can see, around 28 to 33, we have a spike in the impedance rise up to 1.3. And then it starts to fall between the mid 30 hertz range. And then as we get up here to 40, you can see I didn't do 41, 42, 43 or 44, but you can see that it starts to rise up and peak around the 46 or 47 hertz range. Now, you could do this with a multimeter. You could do this with, in my case, I used the SMD AMM1, which is an amazing unit. What this tells us through that impedance chart is how these subwoofers are reacting with the enclosure that it is in and the tuning frequencies of the ports. And I say ports because I have a 6th order. And so I have a lower chamber and a front chamber with both ported sections. What that means is it is showcasing that the rear chamber, the lower chamber, is tuned somewhere in the 28 to 30 hertz range, and the front chamber, or the top chamber, the higher side, is showcasing around that 46 to 49 hertz range because that's where peak is. That enclosure is tuned 2652. The reason why those are brought in closer to each other than what the enclosure is tuned at is because of the subwoofers being brand new and very stiff with that new suspension. So if you have a subwoofer that is very stiff, it's basically going to take those chambers, those ports that are acting as like a a mechanical filter, so to speak, for the suspension of the subwoofer and bringing it in tighter together. And that's because the suspension on the subwoofer is really tight still. As that suspension on the subwoofer loosens, the ports will be able to help that subwoofer play more effectively in that range, so that tuning frequency should spread back out closer to that 2652. That was a lot of information. I don't know if I rambled over myself. I won't be able to tell until I watch this edit. That is what is going on with the enclosure, the tuning frequency of the enclosure, and the brand new subwoofers that are in there right now that need to be loosened up through playing time. Sitting here editing and watching that clip, I want to add just a little bit of context. When it comes to subwoofers, when a subwoofer is not inside of an enclosure, it has what is called a free air resonance, or also known as FS. Meaning if you were to play a subwoofer outside of an enclosure, it would have a frequency that with the cone, the suspension, and the motor, it plays most effectively at. And this subwoofer specifically in stock form is like 33.5 hertz on the FS, but it changes when you're changing the motor, making it stiffer suspension, a carbon cone. All these things affect the subwoofer's FS, as well as all the other parameters that are within a sub. And when you take a subwoofer, let's say the FS on my subwoofer is 34, 35 hertz, and it's really stiff suspension, those mechanical filters, also known as ports of the enclosure, are also going to be affected by the different types of subwoofer that you may use, because they will have different parameters. I hope you understand. As you can see, we have all the boxes here for these B2 Audio CDR horns. You have the boxes for the front plate here that would actually attach to the horn itself, and then you have the boxes here for the actual horn. I have 6 of them here. The channel is approaching 50,000 followers, and I thought, what better than to do a giveaway that has brought this channel the most success, which is car audio. I have been blessed in the car audio scene to be taken care of by fantastic people, and so this is my way of giving back. Each pair of these, don't quote me, but I want to say it's somewhere in the $200 range. So this is, I feel like, a pretty darn good giveaway for 50,000 followers. And I think the appropriate way to do it is just like we did the last one, which is we chose a number, and whoever guesses it in the comments first will get a message from me, and then this will get sent out to them. Since this is a little bit bigger of a giveaway, I think we make the range of numbers a little bit harder. So instead of a 1 to 1,000, let's do 1 to 2,500. So the first person to guess the correct number wins. I'm thinking of a number right now in my head. I just wrote the number on the back of this box, between 1 and 2,500. Leave it down in the comments. Also, I'm gonna try and bring more of my friends into these videos. I think it just adds some characters, and it's kind of fun. Appreciate you being here. Much love.